Rob, what up, man?
Yo, what up, King? Happy birthday.
Appreciate it. How you doing?
I'm chilling, man. Happy, man. What you drinking on? What you sipping on?
We got a little bit of wine.
Okay, a little wine drunk for the V-Day. I'm with it. Look, you gotta be easy, though. Look, alcohol
Yep,
weakens your immune system, man. So I need you
it
to stay
does.
healthy out there, man. But happy birthday, for real.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate you for coming on the platform to talk with us. About what you've been doing in the industry and just kind of just talking, just in general, because a lot of people don't know what it's like to be a journalist, but to be an artist as well, and not putting yourself in a box. So that's what we personally talk about
Or,
amongst ourselves. So I was just like, you know what? Let's have a conversation about this on live.
that's real, man. Can I ask you a question real quick,
For
though? Can I
sure.
see? I'm usually the one doing the interview. Can you tilt your camera? I just want to see the top of your head real quick.
Let's move this completely back.
Yo,
There we
you
go.
still getting haircuts. That's what I'm
Oh yeah.
jealous
Oh,
about.
oh, I did this though.
Oh, you did it yourself?
Yeah, I did this myself.
Cause I'm here with the Scully, man, cause I ain't have a haircut in like over a month, man, and I'm feeling
Man,
real inadequate. And I'm like, your shit just look fresh, man.
I listen. I had to do it because I kept doing so much content, and I was like, I can't do the hats because it would look kind of crazy. But everybody knows me. This like once I had the hair on the sides, they're like, okay, he's about to have a fit.
I see Mikey Lowe in here. Mikey Lowe don't got a haircut neither, man. Mikey Lowe out there looking like Tego Calderon, man.
But I am dying for my barber. So if my barbers pop in here, call me, house calls, whatever the price is.
That's love. That's love. Nah, let's get into it. I ain't mean to hijack your interview,
No,
man.
you good. But let's talk about how you develop your love for hip hop and just growing up being from Brooklyn, New York.
It just happened. I don't know. I came up in a time when all there was hip hop. Like it wasn't a choice. It wasn't like it was a conscious decision. And I don't take that for granted because I know some people might have fell in love with hip hop at different times in their life. But when I was coming up, it was just all around, man. And being in New York, the city was so alive. Um, you lived and breathed it. I ain't have a choice. Like,
Yeah,
you know? Yeah. So since I was a kid, man, probably like I remember like my first rapper that was like my favorite rapper, you know what I'm saying, when I was a kid,
yeah,
was like Slick Rick. And
taking them back.
yeah, what I realized at the time, it was funny too, because I had this conversation, I did an interview with Nicki Minaj, and she said the same thing, like Slick Rick was like her first favorite
Mm.
rapper. And what it was because Slick Rick, if you listen to him, he sounded like he was kicking nursery rhymes, but they
He
was
did.
X-rated. So it's funny how that would appeal to a kid, but that was like my first favorite.
Yeah. So from listening to Slick Rick and then gaining the love of hip hop even more, like what sparked it for you to say, you know what, this is something that I want to go forward with later in my life.
I don't know, man. I've been thinking about that a lot lately, like and what gravitated me towards hip hop. Um, it was just all around. I was the type of kid that I would buy CDs and I would read the credits, and I would not only know who Nas was or who Jay was or who Biggie was, but I knew who the producer was. I knew who the
Right.
co-producers was of
Who
every
the
track.
engineer was
I
also.
knew who the engineer was, and that, what I think it stems from too, as I'm and I never went to therapy or nothing like that, right? But I do like a lot of self-reflecting,
Right.
and I'm biracial. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? My dad is white and he's Jewish on that side, and my mom's is Puerto Rican, but my mom's is black.
Right.
Puerto Ricans could be black too. I know that's a
Yeah,
big
that's a
debate on the
fact.
timeline. Like my family is black,
Hmm.
so I'm mixed, and I remember growing up, it was always hard being like you never felt like you was enough for either side. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You was too white for the black kids and you was too black for the white kids, and never quite fitting in. Plus, I didn't speak Spanish, so like
Mm.
it was that part too of not necessarily fitting in with the other Puerto Ricans or the other Latinos. And it was definitely like tough as a kid growing up. Again, being biracial, but when it came to hip hop, I said, man, nobody gonna be more hip hop than me.
Right.
Like that was just something that I knew off the bat. I was like, I mean, you could be more of this or that than me, but when it came to this hip hop shit, you wasn't gonna be more hip hop than me.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it stemmed from that. So when I was like, I wrote my first rap when I was 12 years old. I started DJing when I was like 13, 14. I started making beats when I was like 16. Like I was just all in.
Hmm. So from that time on, that was just like it was go for you pretty much.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's funny. I always dreamed that I would make it doing something in hip hop and something in music. Um, and I kind of knew I didn't really have a plan B in that sense. It's not like I ever wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer or you know what I'm saying. It was none of that. And I always dreamed about it, but I never quite knew like my reality now when I'm doing. I didn't know that it was possible. But when I
Right.
speak to my friends that I grew up with, they was like, "Man, we always knew you was gonna do this shit." Like it wasn't a question for the people that was around me.
Right. So
Yeah.
then when you started writing, did that kind of inspire just you going to college and then picking up journalism? Was that what kind of sparked that? Just having that love from that initial early on?
Yeah, I guess when I started like writing raps when I was like a kid, I was always just good writing.
Hmm.
And I wasn't always like the best student. I suck at math. Like my math was terrible. But I always excelled in like English class or any class where you had to write an essay for something.
Yeah.
I just always excelled with my writing. So I just think naturally like I was always a good writer. And so same thing when I went to high school, my high school had majors. In high school, you had to pick a major almost like college. I went to Brooklyn Tech and they had a media major. But honestly, that's where all the kids went with bad grades. Like nobody wants to be there. Everybody wanted to be engineering or bio
They were
or
the
stuff.
smart kids though.
Yeah, there was a smart kid. And then when you got left over for anybody who couldn't get into the other majors, they went into media. My grades weren't great, but I just always wanted to go into media. So I went into the media department. It just seemed like the coolest shit to me out of everything in the school. Um, and so and there was a journalism part to that. So I would take those journalism classes, and I had a dope journalism teacher. And then when I went to college, I went to a CUNY school, to a city school in New York.
Right.
I had to go to college because my pops was like, "If you don't go to college, I'm gonna kick you out." And
I've had that been told to me before too.
for sure. And I ended up going to college, and then I moved out my freshman year anyway. Like I was just like fucking
Really?
them out. Yeah. So like I've been on my own since I was like 18, 17, 18. And so when I got to college, I just picked media as my major because that was my major in high school. So like I was preparing myself for my career in journalism and my career in media, but it wasn't like a plan. I was just kind of like going with the flow wherever life took me. But like I never kind of imagined that it would amount to this.
Right. Yeah. And it's kind of good how it all kind of happened for you. You know, you started out being an artist and then you made the decision of saying, "Hey, I got to focus on my job at Double XL. You know, let's pause the music." And
Mm-hmm.
then you were like 2017, fucking man, let's go all in. Let's not put ourselves in a box. So that moment of saying, "Let's not put ourselves in a box." What was that moment for you? You just said, "Let's just go for everything at this point."
It was funny, yeah, because I didn't plan it. Like, yeah, I was doing music when I was working at Double XL. I had music on the blogs. Like, shout out to Two Dope Boys and That Right and On Smash. And if you know, you know. But those were the sites. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and right
Know
there
what
on
I
the
go to.
blog, I wasn't the most popular rapper on the blog, but my music on any given day could be right next to a Drake song or right next to a Wale song. Like, I was in that mix a little bit. And Double XL made me choose one or the other, and I chose, you know, getting paid because I got my sons and I couldn't put this dream above my son. So I put music to the back burner. And 2017 happened, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I was on the Breakfast Club, man. Shout out to Charlemagne and Yee and Envy. And I was doing an interview there and I was promoting Genius, like what we were
Yeah, I
doing
remember
with
that.
Genius. And Charlemagne, who's my man, but he ain't know me from back in the day, he was congratulating me. He was like, "Yo, it's so dope that you could show young people that they don't have to be a rapper, that they
Right.
could still be in hip hop and they could be a journalist." And he goes, "Rob, thank God you never tried to rap, man. Like, I'm glad, man.
Right.
Rapping ain't for everybody. Thank God you never tried to rap." And I was gonna go along with the flow,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm like, this is the Breakfast Club. This is the biggest show in our culture. This
Right.
is the
Let's take
biggest show in
advantage
hip
of it.
hop. I'm from New York. Like everybody is listening that I grew up with. And I ain't want to lie because I knew that the guys that I grew up with, they're going to be like, "Damn, man, why you ain't tell him the truth?" You know what I'm saying? So I was like, nah, dude, actually I did used to rap. I did want to be a rapper. And then he was like, word, word, word. All right, spit something, and put me on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
The thing was, even at that time, even though I wasn't making music, I was still writing raps. Like,
Right.
it was just something I never stopped doing. And so I had spit something that I wrote, and they was like, damn, that's just kind of dope. And I remember when the shit aired, Killer Mike was like the first one to hit me. Shout out to Killer Mike. He was like, man, keep going, man. That was dope. And then, you know, I linked with my man Hovain, and he was like, yo, I think we can get a deal. You want to let's put a record out. And we signed with Empire to do my first project in 2017.
Right. And I want to talk about choosing to go independent with having a, you know, a deal versus where you could have been like, let me call some people, you know, at a major label to try to see to push this narrative a little bit better. What made you decide to go indie? Because a lot of people who are artists that are tapped in or creatives, they are always like, oh, I want to go to a major. I want to go to a major, but they don't understand that creative control is
Mm.
kind of taken when you're going to a major. You want to do as much independent work as possible.
Yeah, it never occurred to me to look for a major deal because
Mm.
I didn't even have a record. All I had was an acapella freestyle I spent on the Breakfast Club. Like, it just hadn't occurred to me to do it. And I didn't want to shop. I didn't want to sit there and have to convince nobody
Right.
that I could do music. I knew what the optics was. Like, people view me. I was a journalist. I'm one of the, like, fuck that. I'm one of the best. You know what I'm saying, out
Yeah.
there. And I believe in that. So I know what the perception is. And then for me to do that and be like, yo, I do music too. I knew a lot of people wasn't gonna get it, but I was really doing this for myself. Like, I knew that was the first dream, was to do music, and I didn't want to look back on my life like, yo, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, and have no
Mm-hmm.
regrets. So I didn't go shop at major labels. One, because I didn't really have no music to shop to them,
Right.
and two, I didn't want to have to spend my time convincing nobody that I could do this. Empire right away was like, yo, that'd be kind of cool. Fuck it, let's do it.
Right.
And so we did it, and they believed. And shout out to guys in Yanima, man. That was so dope of them. But even to this day, like, I know I'm not, like, look, music and hip hop is in a different space right now too. A lot
Yeah,
of it is about
definitely.
melody. A lot of it is about, and I know what sells, and I know what sounds good. Boy, I know these raps.
Yeah,
And I can
definitely.
fucking rap.
Bars.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I get just as busy as anybody. Like, you can put me on the track with anybody,
Sure.
and it's gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So and you know, that's what I wanted to do. But even to this day, I don't run around chasing people for features or trying to get looks or trying to get on. I'm just doing my music because I love it, and I put it out, and then I connect with people who love it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And thankfully, I'm in the blessed position to do that. Like, obviously, my career at Genius and my career as a journalist and people who know me, I don't really need the money as much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily a starving artist per se in that way. So I don't need the music to bring in the money. You know what I'm saying? So I don't need the
Mm-hmm.
major label deal or the big advance. So I could get it from the mud.
Yeah. And I think it's really good that you said that and that you even talk about not needing a whole bunch of money to do what it is that you do. Cause I know that when it comes to like the time that you get paid and stuff like that, you're like, look, let me put this towards my dreams. Let me invest in myself. Let's talk about investing in yourself, whether, you know, you're an artist or a brand whatsoever, because a lot of people still don't understand the emphasis sometimes. Hey, you need to get that one sheet. You need to get that bio. You
Right.
need to have that press kit. You need to have
Right.
the license. You need to have all that shit intact if you really want to be taken serious.
Yeah, investing in yourself for sure. One real quick, just because I saw a comment from Jeff from Mr. Real, man. Shout out
Mm-hmm.
to Mr. Real. I don't know, they're doing quarantine radio right now, and they're doing a new podcast every day, and each podcast has 3 guests. Uh, I don't know when they sleep, but real quick, Jeff from Mr. Real said about getting features. He was like, one, getting features is fucking hard, which is a fact.
Extremely.
Like,
Yeah.
chasing down rappers is a full-time job. I ain't got time for that shit. And then he also says, and you gotten somewhere needed. And that's the truth, man. I did a record with Styles P
Yep.
from the Locks, who was one of my favorite MCs before he even did a record for me. This is not me saying because he did a record for me. But he reached out. He was like, yo, I see what you're doing. If you ever need a verse from me, hit me. And then I had the perfect song from him, and he did it. And that's Styles P from the Locks, man. That dude is incredible. And then I work with my peoples. I listen to Sin, my man Cantrell, my man Triz. Like I just a lot of artists like you might not have heard of, but they're equally dope. So I do the feature thing. I just don't chase around for features. It got to be like really organic in that way. And I'm sorry, I just saw that comment, and I wanted to acknowledge Jeff from Mr. Real, man, because they doing dope things, and that was a really dope comment. But you went back to like investing in yourself. You know what I'm saying? And why investing in yourself is important. Yeah. All the money that I make from music, and again, I'm in a different position, right?
Right, yeah.
All the money that I generate from music, I just put back into the music. You know what I'm saying? So it's constantly and then I kind of keep that separate. You know what I'm saying? The money that I make from my job, that goes to pay my bills, that goes to feed my family and stuff like that. But the music, I've been able to be a self-sustaining thing, which is dope. So I'm constantly investing back in myself. A lot of money goes to studio time. I should probably figure out an at-home setup at this point.
I was going to say, do you have an at-home setup somewhat with all this going on right now?
Nah, man. I don't even got a room to myself, man. Everything, I don't got a corner of the house, man. My kids is a PlayStation everywhere or Xbox everywhere, and they be streaming Fortnite. I probably need to hook it up, especially at this point. But nah, I don't have the at-home studio, but that would be dope. I might invest in that. But, it's just investing back in yourself and the tools that you need. A lot of things I do on my own. Like, I'm different too, right? Like, I don't need a publicist, like, at this stage in my career. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm blessed with that. When I did my first press run for my first project, I did it alone. But, publicist is something that, you might want to invest in if you're an artist. Writing bios. I've written all your favorite artists' bios.
Right.
So I could write my own.
Seen it too.
Yeah. So I could write my own. But you just got to kind of see, you definitely need, it takes money, you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of things still that I probably should be invested in that I haven't invested yet, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Radio takes money, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
tell them that again. Radio takes money, because
I
don't think people understand it. They're like, oh, let's just get this record to the radio. With what money?
Yeah, nah, you need a lot. Radio takes a lot of money. It's just promotion, and it's you get an indie promoter or a radio promoter, and they run around and do their thing, but really it's just me, man. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm a one-man team. I'm grateful for anybody that you see on a record gets credit. I even credit my producers as features. So if you produce the record for me, my man Devious Minds produced a lot of records. The record title featuring Devious Minds, like, I want the producers to be up in front, and the other artists that I work with to be up in front, and my engineer Andrew,
right.
And then most of it after that is just me. Like, everything after that, I'm shooting my own single covers. Like, right now, I'm putting out a new song twice a month, on the 1st and the 15th of every month. And I've been doing that all year. I shoot my own covers for every single.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cheap as fuck. Yeah. But I love it too. It's not even because of that, because it's like, I want to shoot my own cover. Like, I have a vision that only I can see. But, as you get bigger as an artist, like you do have to spend money in areas and invest in yourself. It's super important.
Right. And it's good that you mentioned that you want to focus on your vision versus having somebody else do it, because some people aren't going to get it or have that eye the way that you see. Okay, this is how the artwork has to be. This is where the logo needs to be. This is how this needs to sound. This is how this needs to feel.
Right. And I'm not saying I get it all right, but it do be aligned with my vision. A lot of it, I see the album art when I'm writing the record. Like, I just see it in my head, or I might see a video, like, it all kind of happens with the creation of the record. So I have a very specific vision, and, it's hard for me to find people that align with my vision. But when I find those people, I kind of hold them close, who can help me execute the vision.
Exactly. Before we even talk about, like, your work at Genius, which has been incredible, like, you've been doing nonstop interviews prior to the quarantines, and now it's just like, I'm like, damn, Rob don't sleep. Y'all don't sleep at all. So shout outs to you and the team for never sleeping. But the debut project, Right to Dream, and then the whole concept behind that. For those who have not checked it out, they've got to check it out. You might as well just go to your iTunes and all that stuff, download it as we're talking about this project because it's seriously amazing. How much hard work would you say actually it took to put out a debut project? Because a lot of people don't understand, like it's work putting out a project. It just can't happen today, tomorrow.
Yeah, nah. It took a lot of work. I put it out in 2017, but I had been working on this since 2016.
Okay.
I took a long time to work on it because I knew it was something different. I knew that if I came out and everybody knows me as the guy who does interviews and I say, hey, I'm rapping now, I know a lot of people was going to be reluctant. A lot of people wasn't going to take it seriously. So, I had to dig really deep. I knew I wanted to make it lyrical. I knew that was like my strength. Like, I can't sing. You know what I'm saying? I've tried auto-tune in the studio. I still ain't figure out the right settings. I'm not saying I would never do it, but I'm like, all right, this ain't for me. Like, I can't do the Tory Lanez thing. You know what I'm saying?
Which was a fire interview.
Oh yeah, Tory is my guy. So I was like, yo, I got thank you. I was like, yo, I got to do me. So it's the lyrics and it's the storytelling. And I knew I had a lot of stories to tell. And so, I put that on that album, Right to Dream. But, I worked on it. It was just an EP, actually. It was short. But I worked on it, I want to say from like September. It was a couple of months. It was about 4 or 5 months. From like September to maybe February. And then we put it out in May, I think. And then July, I put it out.
And then the latest project is Too Late at the Wake, right?
It's Too Late at the Wake, yeah. And that came out in 2019, in May 2019. And that whole thing, like the Right to Dream message is this: is like people knew me as a writer, as a journalist. So it's Right to Dream, like, but spelled WRITE, and it's really, I found that a lot of my fans and supporters look for the music to help motivate them to do what they want to do the things that people say they couldn't do.
Right.
When I put out that first Right to Dream project, I had somebody who reached out to me, and we still stay in contact to this day. I never met this dude, and he's from all the way across the world, like on the other side of and he hit me and said, yo, that he was thinking about ending his life.
Wow.
The same week that I dropped my project.
That's major.
And that he heard my project, and it made him realize that he had more things to live for, that there was more in his life that he can accomplish. And that meant more to me than any stream, like any data point. So Right to Dream was that. And then when I went to the next project, It's Too Late at the Wake, what that was kind of still that same concept of like, yo, we're here to win not, and we're all gonna die one day. Like it's inevitable, right?
Yeah.
So you got to live your life at the fullest, because you can't talk about so many times, so many people talk about what they dream to do, and I'm like, actualize it. It's too late at the wake. When you're in that casket, you can't do shit. So do it now. And people have to be real with themselves too, because a lot of people say, yo, I want to be an artist.
But they make that move.
But an artist's only job is to create. And then people give up when they don't get the results. The dream for me was never to get 1 billion streams. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When I first started doing music, streams didn't exist. And I think people get caught up like, yo, I want to be an artist. But if they don't get 1 billion streams, then they don't feel like they validated as an artist. I'm an artist because I create. The streams, I performed at Rolling Loud, I performed on Barclays Center. All that shit is the icing on the cake. I've heard my records on the radio on Hot 97, and I'm grateful for all of that. But none of that shit validates me as an artist. So if you want to be an artist, create.
Yeah.
And a lot of people give up because they're not getting the results. It's like, oh, you didn't want the artistic element of it. What you really wanted was the results. And a lot of people got to be real with themselves. You know what I'm saying? So that was what Too Late at the Wake was about. And then the other side of it, it was dual meaning. So it was like kind of go for your dreams now because it's too late at the wake. Right. But it also had a lot to do with, yo, we got to stop hating on each other and putting each other down. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's too late at the wake. Like you see it when somebody passes away and all the RIP posts. Yo, rest in peace. Yo, I loved him. Yo, this, yo, that. Yo, but did you tell him that when he was alive? You saying rest in peace, but your ass was hating when he was out here trying to do his thing. Did you let
True.
him live in peace? Like, so it was kind of a dual meaning for that too. And you know, because I've experienced as much love as I get to him, I get a lot of love. I've experienced hate, and it'd be weird
Yeah.
because it comes from the strangest people.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I wanted to talk about, because we've personally talked about that, because I was telling you, like, yo, you inspire me with me being an artist as well and doing the things that I do, because I just be like, okay, how's this person going to react to this? But you were like, listen, it was hard. You know, I had to just go out there, do it. And just whatever criticism came with it, take it.
Yeah, nah, you got listen, because first of all, too, when you put the art out, it's going to be criticized. Like
Yep.
you can't put it out in a glass case or a protective case. Like the people gonna do what they're gonna do. Um, you know, and I knew that. And you know, when I first started journalism, before I was on camera, before I was doing cover stories for Double XL, my career started in the back of magazines where they put the album reviews. So
Yep.
my first 2 or 3 years, all I could do was album reviews. So I had to be critical of people's stuff. So I knew what it was like to criticize people's work. And I knew that if I put something out, people were going to criticize my work the same way. And I had to live with that. There's a difference between criticism and hating.
Yep. There
Like,
is.
you know what I'm saying? You could still
Fine line.
say some shit wasn't good, or I wasn't feeling this shit, or I ain't like the way this connect. And you can still say that without being a hater. You know what I'm saying? So,
But I know that you had received a lot of that from even people on, like, industry people on social media, and we talked about that. How fucking crazy is that to just kind of like read that and just be like, all right,
read what? Just from people or like industry people?
industry people.
What are you gonna do? Like it was definitely crazy. Like when I read it, I think I know the situation you're talking about. I read it. It was crazy. I was shocked. I was like, wow, like for real. I showed you nothing but love. Like word.
Right.
Like you couldn't even text me first and give me a heads up. Like if you felt that strongly, you was gonna say that. All right, cool. Like it is what it is. But you know, look, I think Jay-Z the greatest rapper of all time. That's just my opinion.
Period. Though.
And I see Jay get hated on. So if I see Jay, or especially on Twitter, if you see motherfuckers talking bad about Jay-Z's music on Twitter, what the fuck make me exempt? You know what I'm saying? like, so yeah, you know, it definitely. I'm not gonna say it don't affect you. Like it just don't roll off your skin. Like it definitely affects me, but I don't dwell on it neither. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, you can't. But it's good that you don't let it get you, and you just be like, you know what? I see where this is coming from, but I'm not going to focus in on it, because I got something that's even bigger.
Yeah. Shout out to Shrek Knows Rap. In the comments. Yeah, nah. And it gives me fuel. Then when I go back to the studio, I got shit to write about. Now I'm throwing subs. Now, oh my God. It's been a lot of subs like thrown like at me, and then I throw them right back. That'd be the funny shit when you just like sometimes it'll be a line and I hit somebody with a line and the rest of y'all don't catch it.
Yep.
But I know they caught it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's been a couple like that in these couple of years. So that's cool. And it's been funny, man. It's been rappers or artists that I helped. Like, dude, I did your first interview and you out here hating.
That's the crazy part.
Cool. Let's go. Like at the same time, let's spar. Like again, I came here to rap. So fuck it. So you know, there's a lot of slick shit being said, man.
But that's just like the game of hip hop, and I don't think people understand. Like, look, if you want to go blow for blow and bar for bar, we can do that. That's no problem.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
A lot of people say like your bars are crazy. I know that's what a lot of people are saying in the comments. So when it comes to like the lyric structure, how would you say like the artists that you grew up on, just kind of going back, like really inspired you to just kind of like go crazy with like your flow the way that you do?
Because it was just to me, you know, hip hop rap is like a secret language. Like it wasn't for everybody to get. Like, and that's what I loved about like coming up like Jay. Like sometimes, you know how long it took me when Jay-Z on the Blueprint album, man, when he said he did the song Lyrical Exercise. So he's taught there's a lot of exercise metaphors. And he said, man, Jigga Man is diesel when I lift the 8 up. I thought he was just talking about a gun. And he was talking about Shaq and Kobe. Shaq is diesel.
Right.
Kobe wore number 8. There's the picture of Shaq. Like, so there's so many layers to what we do. That's the type of shit that inspires me. Like, you know, I think hip hop is in this space where it's pop music now. It's the most popular music in the world. And I think so many artists are seeking acceptance, and we're all seeking acceptance from the world. I don't want acceptance. I want to say my dope shit, my slick shit, and if only you get it, and my man New Face in the comment gets it, and my man Listen to Sing gets it, and somebody who raps like a Styles P or whatever, they get it, that's all I need. Because it wasn't meant for the rest of y'all. I'm not looking for acceptance. So, you know, that's kind of how I approach my writing. And again, that goes credit to the Jay-Z's. That goes credit to the Raekwons and the Ghostface. You know, there's a lot of shit Ray says, just like slang wise. I don't know what the fuck he talking about. Still,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think Future writes that way. It's a lot. I think all the greats kind of write. It's a coded language. So that's how I approach my shit.
Right. So what is your thoughts on hip hop and R&B of nowadays? I know you probably get that question a lot, but you having to go get the pitches and then just being a fan of music, you know, what is your overall thoughts on like good versus bad, if you will?
That's it. That's the only two types of music there is good music and bad music. Like, I love what's going on today. There's a lot of trash too. But, you know, I think, look, I came up in the 90s. There was a lot of trash in the 90s too. Like, we just forget it. Like, you remember the best from your era. I hate people who look at things through like rose-colored glasses, right? Like, oh, back in my day, man, everybody was dope. No, it wasn't. It was a lot of trash-ass rappers in the 90s. You just forgot about them because you just remember what's great. So I think there's a lot of great music going on right now. And I think there's a lot of trash. There's a lot of copycats. There's a lot of, and 10 years, we're not going to remember them. You know, I think Uzi is fucking dope. Like, I think
so
Uzi, and I think Uzi could rap. And then I think when he came in with his style, there was a lot of kids who sounded like Uzi. I think we're going to forget the copycats, but you always going to remember Lil Uzi. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that I fuck with it. I think the style, like, it has to evolve. It sounds way different from when I was coming up or when I was first inspired by hip hop, but it has to evolve. You know what I'm saying? Like, the first cats who started doing the hip, the hop, the hip to the hippity, Nas don't sound like that.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, every 10 years or so, it gotta evolve. Like, and so I don't understand how people hate on that shit.
Yeah. I don't understand how people can hate on it and be like, oh, that's trash, that's trash. I mean, like you said, there are those artists that aren't good, but you got to understand that as time goes on, you evolve. I did an interview with Tank, and he was just talking about, you know, him having to conform a little bit to what R&B was sounding like and just being a little bit more in that trappy pocket versus being like, less love, less love. We can still love, but let's do it in a pocket.
Yeah, no, for real, definitely. But you know what made me, watching the Babyface Teddy Riley battle made me realize something about R&B, because I'm a big R&B fan, is that I think we have dope artists, dope R&B artists, but who are the dope songwriters? Like, I think everything is a vibe. So I think, but it's just certain lyrics that I was hearing, you know, like Let's Chill. Like, when Teddy Riley plays Let's Chill, it's like, yo, that's crazy. Like, just lyrically, what they were saying and the feeling and the emotion. And I think a lot of R&B artists now, I'm like, who are the writers? We know who the artists are. Who are the writers?
Right.
Who's the Babyface today? Who's the Teddy Riley today? So that's kind of interesting to me. And you know, again, there's a lot of dope shit, but it's missing a lot too. So, you know, I think it'll come around.
Yeah. Are there any artists that are songwriters that you are noticing that could be like the potential Teddy Riley's, Babyface nowadays?
I'm damn, don't ask me. Songwriters, I'm sure Stara, for a minute, I haven't heard anything new from her. That she or I haven't noticed her name on credits. But Stara is somebody who is really dope and who I really enjoy her pen and perspective and when she would write for other people.
Right.
Um, there, there's a few. I'm trying to think. You kind of caught me off guard with that one, but not. Yeah, I mean, when you talk about Babyface and Teddy Riley, you're talking about two of the greatest songwriters ever. So I
They
haven't
wrote
quite seen
hits.
that level. Yeah, I haven't quite seen that level within the new generation yet.
Somebody said, how would you explain the difference between songwriting and being an artist?
Some people are great writers and can't sell the package. Like, you know what I'm saying? Um, no disrespect. Oh my God, what's my man's name? Um, fuck, I don't want to. I forgot his name. He's my man too. You see it. You see it sometimes. Like songwriters just don't pop as artists. Like, and they write
Yeah.
the biggest songs. Um, I don't want to throw nobody in the. But I'm trying to think. There's one guy in my head. Oh, what you call it? And there's no disrespect for him. Pooh Bear,
Oh my
who writes
gosh,
for
bro!
Justin Bieber.
All the shit that he's done.
Yeah, Pooh Bear is an incredible writer, like undeniable, and he puts his art. You know, he's an artist as well,
Yeah,
and it just doesn't quite work the same. You know, coming from him. So
I feel
you
like
know,
Jonte Austin is one of those as well
yeah,
too.
it hadn't worked for John Tay Austin. Did he put out solo stuff?
He just put out a project.
Yeah, yeah. Pooh Bear is sick, man. But some people it just doesn't kind of work as the artist side, and maybe that's not even their goal because you know, Pooh Bear and Justin Bieber not the same. Like,
Yeah, no,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they're selling the same thing. But he's an incredible writer. And you know, I know he was putting out his music, and it didn't quite take off the same way. It wasn't quite received, you know, in that same way. So that's the difference.
right. So let's go ahead and talk about Genius because I know that's what a lot of people probably want to know as well. Like, what is your day-to-day life at Genius like? Because I know you get a lot of different emails and you're meeting with the team. You guys are going through different, strategy meetings, trying to figure out what content is going to work. What is that day in the life like for you?
Well, on a normal day when we're not working from home, you know, because we have to adjust to this now. But every day is different, man. There's you know, people see me a lot on camera and doing for the record or doing like a lot of interviews or hosting events. That's maybe 25% of what I do. I have I'm the VP of content strategy over there. So there's a lot of meetings during the day of not just with my team who does the artist relations,
Mm-hmm.
of not just like who should we be booking, but also programming meetings. When should we be putting this out? When's the right time to put this video out? When's the right time to put this interview out? I work on a lot of branded content stuff.
Mm.
You know, when brands come to us and want us to make custom packages and include artists and stuff like that. You know, I manage a 4-person team who are great. They're actually real easy to manage because they all really, really, really do their thing. Man, it's a lot of meetings. It's a ton of me. I'm in a ton of meetings. And then I meet with artists too. Like sometimes it's like up and coming artists who we can't shoot with, like who it doesn't make sense to shoot with, but
Right.
you know, because they might not be at the level where our audience would really engage in content with them. But you know, I meet with artists and I meet with labels and we strategize on the future and talk music. It's dope though. I love it. Like every day is different though. There's some days I'm doing 3 interviews and then there's some days I'm in 6 meetings. Like it's just different.
So how much, with all the stuff that you have to do you have that time to actually prepare for the interview? Do you find yourself sometimes where it's like last minute, or do you always find it that you're always on it on time to prepare?
Okay. Real quick, I saw a quote too or something in there about how Genius supports the team's careers outside. Like Sam Balaban, who is an amazing photographer who works on our team and cameraman, and he edits and he directs and stuff like that. Dude is amazing. We love him. But you said how much time do I have to prepare for an interview?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
yeah, like just being able to prepare for the interviews, especially since you have to have all these different meetings. Like, do you ever find it where it's just like, damn, I really got to prepare, for this, like, you know, but I've got all this going on. Like,
Then
where's the balance for that?
I'll drop everything. If
Really?
I have an interview coming up and I have to cancel some meetings,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cancel some meetings to research and prepare for that interview, because to
Yes.
me, nothing is more important. You know, when I'm sitting down with an artist, if I invite an artist to the show or it's a Genius, and it's important for me for that artist to feel respected when they sit down. It's important for me for that
Yeah.
artist to feel like they're talking with somebody who really knows their music and really is invested in their music. And
Mm-hmm.
even when I know, even like I'm a fan of an artist, because I wouldn't have you on, like, and I still do the research. Like, it's not
Yeah.
enough just to, you know, that, like, I sat down with Jadakiss a couple of months ago. I'm a huge Jadakiss fan. You know what I'm saying? I could probably, off the top of my head, do a Jadakiss interview, no problem, just off of memory.
Right.
But nah, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna research and we're gonna uncover every stone, and we're gonna do the work. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, again, it goes back to what I was saying. A lot of people tell me they want to be in media or they want to do what I do, and a lot of people just want to be in front of the camera.
Yes.
But do you? How much time are you gonna really take to perfect your craft and research for that interview? And really ask the dope questions and weave a dope narrative. So when that artist walks away, because a lot of artists come to us, and you know this, right? They'll come, it'll be a
Yep.
press day. So they have 10 interviews lined up that day, and you're just one of 10. I want at the end of the day, when that artist has done it, to be like, damn, man, that Genius interview was the one, though.
Right.
Because you got to feel respected. I think we get into a place where we're respecting everything but the art of this shit. The artist, to me, is still the most important part of all of this. Without the art, we'd have nothing. There'd be no business. There'd be no industry. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I want the artist to be respected. Like, if we're talking about your album, you know, an artist might spend 8 to 12 months working on an album. And I watch a lot of interviews where they'll sit down for an hour and they'll talk about all the gossip shit and they'll talk about everything. And then they'll talk about their album that they worked a year on for 5 minutes.
Right. It'd be like the last end of the interview.
Yeah, we devaluing music, man. Like, first of all, I hope y'all realize, like, music is totally devalued. Like, we're not even paying for music anymore. When you pay Spotify, you're not paying for music. You are paying for access to listen to their library of music. You don't own that music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So music is devalued that way, right? If you look at a Spotify, if you're an artist and you look on the back end, one stream is worth like 0.000000001 cent. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, it's a fraction of a penny. We devalued music so much, and at least when we have the interviews, some of these interviewers, some of these outlets are inviting artists and then saying the music isn't even worth the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So not only
I
have we
hate that.
devalued it monetarily, we're like, yo, it's not even worth the conversation. Nah, dog. But yet we listen to more music than ever. It's a bigger part of our lives than ever. You know what I'm saying? With streaming,
Right.
you have every album at your fingertip ever recorded, damn near.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, whenever an artist comes and sits with me, I always want the artist to feel respected.
Yeah, and it's a good thing that you do that and that you and the team do that, because I try to tell people, even with my own interviews and even right now, I'm like, look, I gotta prepare. I don't care if that client has to do 5 damn interviews that I set up. Guess what? They can call themselves in. I won't be there, you know, because you have to give people your absolute best when you're talking about, you know, what they're doing with their careers and stuff like that. Hell, the person that they're meeting with has to know what, you know, the expectation is. So you got to give the same expectation.
Yeah, nah, for sure. And then, you know, the other side of it is that I know how to make music. Like, I know what it's like to make
Mm-hmm.
music. So, you know, I give people the same respect that I want. You know what I mean? And sometimes, look, I'm gonna be real. Sometimes it's artists that I'm not too familiar with
Right.
that I end up interviewing, or I'm not the biggest fan of. They're not my favorite. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still gonna give you the respect. We're gonna listen to your album a couple times. We're gonna write some good questions. We're gonna research, and we're gonna get to the bottom of it, and we're gonna have great conversation, because you know, we owe it. to the artists, you know what I'm saying, who put their heart and soul on these records.
Right. So based on your experience, I know somebody is asking this. Would you ever write a book about, being a journalist and being an artist as well?
One day, probably, yeah. I think I'll do a book. You know what I'm saying? When it's all kind of done, you know what I'm saying, and I have something to really kind of reflect on, I could see writing a book. It's a lot of dope stories. Eventually,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to tell them. I can't give everything away.
Yeah. And what advice would you give to a independent artist or somebody who's just coming up in entertainment? I know that was a question that somebody asked a couple minutes ago.
Independent artists.
Mm-hmm. Or somebody just trying to navigate through the business.
One, you gotta love what you do. You gotta love the process because it's not gonna pay off. It's gonna be a while. For me as a journalist, it took a while for it to pay off. I used to work in the mailroom and I used to freelance for the Source and Double XL at night.
Mm.
And then I got my first full-time job at Scratch Magazine. I took less money to go to Scratch. I was making more money in the mailroom than I was making in Scratch Magazine. It was a conscious decision. I thought it's going to be tough. So the money ain't going to go. But it goes back to what I said before. You have to love the process because you're not going to get the results. Like if you're trying to get into this game to be an artist because you want to be the next Kanye West, like I applaud you.
Right.
Like hell yeah. But don't think that you're going to come out the gate in year one, you're going to have a platinum plaque and you're going to have your Yeezys and you're going to marry Kim Kardashian. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, yeah, that's you. That's not you being in love, wanting to be an artist. You want the results. You want the spoils of what comes with it. But you got to be able to put into the work. You got to be able to do what Kanye did before there was ever a camera on his face.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That when he said five beats a day for 3 summers, that's a different world, like 3 summers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be able to put in that work. And I find that a lot of artists say they want to get in the game, but what they really want is the end result and not. So you got to love the process because it's going to kick your ass. It's going to bust your ass. And if you don't love the process, you're going to quit before you get to the good part. You know what I'm saying? To the spoils.
Yeah. That's true. I try to tell people you got to really trust the process and not try to have it or run it overnight. It can happen overnight if you work hard and it's something that's genuine, but don't force it upon people who aren't like, oh, this is it. This is it. Because not everything is going to go viral. And I think that's the biggest problem. Everybody's like, let's make it go viral.
Nah, man. Shout out to Chris too, man. Chris said you got to be able to fail to get back up, which is real. I do music and I got a lot of support. My family, you know what I'm saying? My friends. It goes back to this thing that you can't force things on somebody, right? Like, I know people who like me and who love me and may not love my music.
Right.
Like, I can't make you love a song. And they won't tell you that. They'll be like, oh, yeah, I heard it. But then it'll be complete strangers that I know who love my music and who DM me every day about how my shit helps motivate them to get them through life. I think you're right. You can't force your shit on it. Like, especially when it comes to art, because it's so subjective, you can't force it on people.
Right.
They either gonna love it or they don't. Look, I'll tell you right now too, like, for example, so the one thing is you got to make yourself happy. You got to be happy with what you create and then put it out. You know what I'm saying? I know I can make more popular songs. Like, I know I can make something that sounds like it belongs on Rap Caviar. You know what I'm saying? Which will increase my chances of getting on Rap Caviar, right? But it's not going to make me happy. So I'm not going to do it. I'm truly making what makes me happy. And this year I committed myself to, like I said before, I'm putting out 2 songs a month, one on the 1st and one on the 15th of every month of every, you know what I'm saying?
And let's talk about the strategy behind that since we're on that again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the strategy is, first of all, you see me work. The 1st and the 15th is payday. From where you come from, or if you was ever on government assistance or your family, that's when the checks come in, the 1st and the 15th, right? County checks if you was out there in the West Coast, and those are paydays. So usually that's when the money comes into the hood. So that's when The hairdressers get their money. That's when your nails get done.
Yep.
If you a hustler, you know, that's when the dope fiends, you know, when the check come. So for me, the 1st and the 15th is all about, you'll see me on my Instagram. Most people most days don't even know I do music because I'm promoting Genius. I'm promoting all this other stuff, right?
Right.
So that's my week. I work. But when it's payday, when it's the 1st and the 15th, I'm investing in myself. I'm paying my bills. I'm taking care of what I got to take care of. I'm saving a little bit and I'm investing in myself. And that's the music. Right. And I put out the music to invest in myself on the 1st and the 15th. And that's just simply what it is. And it's a reminder and hopefully motivation for people to invest in themselves. To take work, bust your ass, but take something and invest in yourself. You know, it's just a little bit. And, you know, I'm doing that. I'm not even looking at the streaming numbers. I don't even care what it streams. At the end of the year, I'll analyze it. I'm going to be smart about it because you still got to study data. That's the world that we in. But I'm just about pointing out dope music. You know what I'm saying? And letting these motherfuckers know I can rap.
Period. Yep.
Period. And better than a lot of motherfuckers.
A lot of
that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's that too. So, and that's what makes me happy. And so that's the strategy behind it. And people was like, and then the album is going to come, you know, people, my album is finished. It's done. I could drop my album tomorrow if I wanted to. But, you know, I got to feel like the people really want it. Like, I'm not just going to, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to do this 1st and 15th so the people really make me feel like they want the album and they can get the album. But I'm having fun.
No, that's good. So can we at least anticipate the album maybe like fallish, wintertime, possibly?
It's up to the people.
Or any day.
It's up to the people, man. The album could come next week. I'm telling you. If I need to feel the love though. Yeah, man. You gotta show me the love first. But and right now I'm just loving what I'm doing. But it's never no telling. And then obviously I'm tweaking it. Like I'll do a new song and I'll be like, oh, I'll save this for the album. No, I'm gonna put this out on the 1st and the 15th. But it's ready and it's just kind of up to the people. You know, so we'll see.
Yeah. So now I know there was a question somebody wanted to know, what upcoming interviews do you have down the pipelines for Genius?
That's a good question. I don't know. We're working. We did a lot. We got a lot of stuff coming. Not necessarily that I did per se, but we got like a verified episode coming out with Kehlani. We got verified coming out with G-Eazy. We got Super Mario coming on Deconstructed. He's gonna break down one of them little Uzi beats that he did. You know, and you know, look, there's a lot of dope albums coming out. So a lot of the interviews kind of happen and come up real quick. So, you know, I want to interview Kehlani.
I think that would be dope.
I definitely want to speak to Kehlani about this album. I want to interview Nav too. Nav just announced he's putting out an album. I think
that would be fire.
I think we could do some controversy. I think you see the whole thing he's doing with academics. And there's a lot of controversy with that, but I just want to see where his head is at with this new album. Be interesting. But whoever, man, it's a lot of people on the list. I just honestly, like, you know, we got to see. You know what I'm saying?
And even with the artists that you do want to interview, do you sometimes reach out to the artists, or does most of the pitch come towards your way before you reach out?
Lil Durk too. Lil Durk about to drop something. It's both ways.
Okay.
It comes both ways. I reach out to a lot of artists. A lot of artists reach out to me. It's both ways. You know, there's no kind of rhyme or reason to it. A lot of it is just timing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's amazing. So the next 2 records come out. It's coming out in June. It's not coming out this month, right? For May?
Nah, 1st and 15th, baby.
Okay.
The first is on Friday, man. The checks is coming on Friday, and I'm dropping music on Friday. Yeah.
So tell us. So give us a tease into what the next 2 records will sound like.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's cool. I just dropped, for those that was paying attention, my man Listen to Sin. We just did his Dynasty remix, was dropped last week, and so I did a record for him. So me and Sin got a record coming out on Friday, which is my record called Who Do I Trust?
Okay.
So it's a little more of a street record. The funny thing is, like, fans, like real Lil Wayne fans is gonna recognize, like, it's kind of influenced by an old Lil Wayne song that he did with a rapper called Mega back in the day. So that's called Who Do I Trust? And then the next record is gonna come out May 15th, and that's a more personal record. It's something that I did. My family went through a real situation last year, like real. So it's a real heartfelt record. I don't think people have quite heard me like that in a while, but it's a record for my mom that I'm gonna drop on the 15th. So give you a street record on the 1st and the 15th. I'm gonna open up a little bit more and let people know about my life and what I've been going through for the past year, which is like, it's been some real painful shit that it's funny. My friends that know about it are like, yo, we wouldn't even know you was going through that shit unless you told us. But like, you got to soldier on. But the music helps me, like, therapy wise. So on the 1st, Who Do I Trust? And then on the 15th is something like really heartfelt.
That's what's up. Let's come back to this live. It's about to cut us off in 1 minute, so I'm gonna start the live over, and we'll come back to it.
Okay, bet.
All right, hold on. Cool. I hate the whole hour thing on this day.
Yeah, they gotta stop being so crazy over there. Instagram, we giving Instagram all the content.
Super.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hip hop, like the culture is really keeping Instagram like popping. If it's the versus battles, if it's D Nice, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's always a rap. There's always somebody from the culture got something dope going on Instagram. They gotta figure this technology out, man.
Yeah, they gotta figure it out. They give us a little bit more of an hour, when they want to, but now they just like
Yeah.
Like,
but shouts to them, man. Shouts to Fadia over at Instagram. That's the homie. Nobody saw this coming.
Yeah.
Nobody could have prepared for where we're at now too. So I cut them a little slack.
Yeah, like you said, shout outs to Fadia and the team. Yeah, and so with those records, I wanted to also, because I'm looking forward to that, I wanted to ask you, being that you've been in this business as long as you have in this industry, what are like 4 things that you throughout being a journalist and an artist that you constantly exemplify the most when it comes to the craft?
Quality, honesty. I always try to be honest, and be it my music, my interviews, just my relationship. Quality, honesty, entertainment. Like, you still got to realize you're here to entertain people. I think people look at me as I'm serious about my shit, but
yeah,
and then fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to have fun too. I kind of get in trouble. Like, sometimes, like, I'll just be feeling like trolling on Twitter or something like that, or I'll say a joke, but people won't know I'm joking. I'll say some shit and they'll take it like serious.
I've noticed that too.
So I think,
man, Rob's just kidding with y'all. Calm down.
Yeah, I think people don't know that I be out here joking, but we like to have fun. I guess, like, off the top, that's like 4 joints.
Yeah, they said, how do you share an honest, maybe harsh criticism?
You got to be real, man, and you got to be earnest. Like, again, there's a difference between critique and hate, right? And back when I was writing album reviews, the one thing I would do, I would always lead with the positive. I would lead with the stuff I like. Like, for example, if I'm reviewing an album, I always go in expecting to like it. Like, I don't go in looking for what I hate about something. I go in with a real open mind. And then it's on your job to either meet that expectation or let me down. Right. And that's the part I have to be honest about. I've done album reviews or been a part of some things where the artist didn't like what I had to say, but they had to respect it. Right. And I've gotten into like arguments with, I always say the story, I've told this story before, when I was at XXL, Mano didn't like the review for his first album. And he wanted to debate it and talk about it. Mano, I like Mano because Mano's a respectful dude. Right. But Mano's also aggressive in his style. So there was some aggressive respect for what's going on, and we argued. And he said his points, and I said my points. And we respectfully disagreed with each other.
Yeah.
A little aggressive, it was a loud voice raising, but it was cool. Like it wasn't no love lost, and I love Made No Death. We see each other after that. It's all love, and there's always been love. And dude, you know, he's somebody that I respect and really fuck with his records. When I moved from MTV to Genius, he had this record called "I'm Gonna Go Harder Than Y'all," which is, if you haven't heard this record, like if you need something for your gym playlist and you into like hardcore hip hop, Mano
That's
has a
the
record
record.
called "Harder Than Y'all."
Mm-hmm.
It'll get you through your last set. So yeah, I mean, you just gotta be honest, but again, don't be a fucking hater.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, this fucking album is trash. It's not a critique. That's not an album review. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
That's
Like,
hate. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's just hate. You could say I don't like some shit, but articulate your shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So now, I also wanted to ask you before we wrap up. You've had the opportunity to perform your music live.
Mm-hmm.
Just being able to have that experience, how was that for you? Being able to kind of switch gears and get back
Yeah,
to that route of performing, because that's such an important thing that every artist should want to be, is a touring artist at some point.
yeah. I don't know if I could ever be a touring artist. Again, my circumstances are different.
Right.
The bag have to be real, and I don't know if anybody could be a touring artist now with what we're facing. But
Nah.
for me, again, look, man, it goes back. You have to remember, I always wanted to be an artist. When I was in high school, I was an artist. So I was going to open mics when I was in high school, and then I was going to battles too. Almost like my life was kind of like how 8 Mile was when I was in high school. Like, you know what I'm saying? I would go to a battle 3 o'clock in the morning, get home like 4 in the morning, wake up 7, and be with my ass at school. And that was my kind of life. So I've always been on the stage for years. But since putting this pride, since like rapping since 2017 to now,
Mm-hmm.
I've been on some of the biggest stages, which is crazy. I performed at Barclays with coming from Brooklyn, that meant a
Yeah.
lot with Logic. I performed at Barclays. When I dropped It's Too Late at the Wait, I performed at Rolling Loud in Miami. Shout out to Tarek, and that was crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm on the bill, and I done interviewed 75% of the lineup. People are looking at me like, yo, Rob, what you doing here? You doing interviews? Nah, dog.
Nah.
I go on at 3 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Like, check with me. So, I've opened for 2 Chainz at Terminal 5. The performance aspect is amazing, man, because you're going to get that feedback in real time.
Yeah.
Them people who came to pay their money is not going to play with you.
Mm-mm.
And if you don't get up there and bust your ass and do your thing and entertain them, because this thing is entertainment, it's not just about getting my bars off. It's like, yo, you got to entertain those people. And if they not fucking with you, they going to let you know.
Yep.
So it's almost the
Especially like
purest
New
form.
York.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, and so, but I rehearsed. When we did Rolling Loud, me, and S. Wit, who DJs for me when I do my show. S. Wit is an incredible DJ. She's over at Beats One, and she's an incredible chef.
Shout outs to her.
Yeah, shout out to S. Wit. We rehearsed that set. I had my set was 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes.
Okay.
Was my set at Rolling Loud, maybe 15 or 20 minutes. And we rehearsed that for 4 weeks, 2 times a week. You know what I'm saying? We had 2 days out the week for 4 weeks, and for 2 hours, and we would just go there and just keep running the same 15-minute set back to back to back to back to back
Right.
to back
When that
until we
preparation.
got it right. So it's a lot of prep that goes into that.
And I think that's the biggest thing that artists have to understand. Before you get on that stage, you've got to rehearse. You've got to work with your teams and make sure that set list is right. If you got dancers, make sure that choreography is hitting it. If you got a DJ, make sure that coordination is on it. I was on. I had coordinated a tour. I won't say the artist's name, but anybody that knows me know who the artist is. And they did not rehearse with the DJ at all. Like they literally had got the music done literally 2 weeks before tour. Made it sound good, but you want to make sure that stuff is already done well in advance versus 1-2 weeks.
Yeah. No, yeah. And I have S. Wit, who is amazing, and she backs me up vocally. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a hype man on there, so my DJ, she know the words to all my records. Like, it's really just being in sync and knowing what comes when. I love it, man. It's a lot of hard work. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of hard, and because I care. Look, there's some artists who can get up there, and I ain't gonna lie, like, I don't rap over my own tracks. Like, you throw the instrumental on and I'm rapping, and what you hear coming through a mic when you come to one of my shows is my voice. I think Lil Mosey came on after me. Shout out to him. He was just rapping over his track, not even a TV track, not an instrumental track. They just played his full record, and he was just doing his ad libs over the shit. And
that's crazy.
I was like, damn, like, that's how they doing it. But his fans loved it. His fans fucking loved it. So I was like, I'm not hating. Like, that shit worked for him. I don't feel like I could have done that and gotten love for that. And I personally wouldn't have felt good about myself if I'd have done that.
No.
You know what I
mean? Because I think the generation of music that you come from and knowing what real music is, stuff like that, it wouldn't be right. Somebody who's like younger, the younger guys, they can do that.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I don't even know if it's like it was real music, because I'm not even gonna say that the younger generation, like, their music isn't real music.
Oh,
like,
no, it is.
But I just know it wouldn't work for me. Like, again, if I'm rapping on stage, I'm going over my instrumental. I might have a TV track, and for those who don't know, the TV track is your instrumental, and your ad libs are like tucked under it. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Or your doubles are tucked under it, just so you have a little support, but you still getting up there rapping. Because, again, I'm looking at guys, you got to look at who my inspirations are. But even modern day, even you don't see Kendrick up there with a hype man.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Cole, like, those guys get up there and rap. So I kind of see myself more in that category. So in order to get that category, this is the shit you got to do. I don't make music like Lil Mosey makes music. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a different style. But like I said, I ain't going to lie. Listen, I'm going to keep it 100. Like, he got up there and he rapped over his tracks, and his fans went fucking crazy.
Yeah. And so he's got a great fan base, and he's dope. You know, to be at the age and level that he is. I'm like, yo, little nigga is killing it in these streets.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I call it dope. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with Mosey, but it's like, I respect it. Like, I see what it is, man, and he made his own lane. Like, I seen the results of that shit. I'm not gonna sit here and hate on that shit at all. And he's doing what the hell he want to do. You know what I mean?
So what advice would you give to the artists that are now emerging and they've got that fan base? What words of encouragement would you give them, just to kind of like stay locked in and not losing focus?
Man, this shit moves so quickly, man. It's like, you know, you see a lot of artists, they might get one hit record and think that they got it and that's it, and they don't got to work anymore, or like everything is just guaranteed. And this shit moves so quick, and a lot of it is because the fans are so fickle. You realize they don't love you, they love your record.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I seen the shit have, like, Ja Rule, right? I'm from that era where Ja had the shit rocking, hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. All of a sudden, here come 50 and the feds with 50. Oh, fuck Ja Rule and Wankster and all this and that, and all of a sudden, nobody's a Ja Rule fan no more. Like,
it was like, fuck them.
Yo, the fans are so fickle. Like, you just can't lose focus. And actually, Irv Gotti has one of my favorite quotes about the music industry ever. And I think this applies for anybody trying to get in the music industry. Irv Gotti says, it's the do it again business. Oh, you got a hit record? Cool, do it again. You know what I'm saying? Like, same shit with journalism. Like, yo, you got a dope interview? That's dope. Do it again.
Right.
Because, again, I see it even in myself, right, with my journalism. Check it out. I'll do an interview with, like, Nicki Minaj or Kendrick or something, and for a week, 2 weeks, whatever, Twitter go crazy. Oh, my God, Rob is the GOAT. Oh, he's the best interviewer ever. Oh, this shit is amazing. And you get pumped up while that interview is new. And then here comes Elliot with his interview of somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then Elliot, I'm just making this up, will interview Cole or something, right?
Yeah.
And then Twitter and the audience, oh, my God, Elliot's the GOAT. He's the guy. Da-da-da. It's crazy. Like, so you can't get caught up in those high moments because
Yeah.
one, the consistency is what builds a career. And then two, a lot of the fans are fickle. Like you might be their favorite today, but if you don't keep feeding them that shit that they love on a consistent basis, they'll replace you. Like that's just what it is.
Yeah, they'll
You know what I'm
definitely
saying?
do that.
So consistency, man. Don't ever feel like you have to stop working. Matter of fact, after you get your first hit or after you sign your record deal, that's when the real work begins. Like it gets harder after that to maintain that shit.
Mm,
You know?
that's the biggest thing. Somebody said use TuneCore, DistroKid. Yeah.
I use DistroKid.
Yeah.
Like my first, I said this earlier, my first deal was with Empire. But when that deal, you know, when we completed that deal with Empire to do my first EP, I started doing DistroKid. I was just like, oh, I could upload this myself. I could do this myself. So yeah, Distro. I never used TuneCore. I feel like they're like Coke and Pepsi. Like you
Yeah, like
gotta find the one that works
Coca-Cola.
with you. I know Steve Stout has United Masters, which is similar. There's a couple now, a couple of different services. So y'all should just research the ones that are best for you. What I had did was I just got on YouTube and on the internet and I looked at all those YouTube reaction videos and people who are comparing what TuneCore does and what DistroKid does. And based off of my needs, I felt like DistroKid was the best one for me. So I chose that. I've been rocking with them ever since.
Right.
Ed said he used all three. Which one do you like better?
Oh, he asked you or if I said?
Nah, Ed the manager says
did.
I've used all three. So I'm just curious which one he likes better. I
Yeah,
guess I'll
that's a
answer.
good question.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know because I've used DistroKid and I've been like, it's kind of cool. TuneCore, Distro.
He
A
said
lot of
DistroKid.
distros also.
They you know, and they all, none of them are perfect, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, DistroKid is cool with me until somebody shows me something better. Like, you know.
Yeah. Because you know they always trying to come up with a new one.
Yeah, shit, man. Pay me. And look, I just gave DistroKid because you gotta pay for DistroKid. Like the one thing about it is you pay a yearly fee and then you kind of pay to upload per song. Like they kind of charge you for different things, but it's not that expensive. I think the yearly fee is like $100 or something. And then each song, if you get all the extras with it,
yeah,
it might cost like $30 a song. So I just did a whole ass advertisement for them. But TuneCore, if you want me to be advertising for y'all, I can cut your boy a deal, and then TuneCore could be the best. That's what I'm gonna do.
Right. If you got a question right here.
Oh, there's a question?
Yep. You see it on your end?
No.
Okay. So they said, is there anything you've learned from being an artist during an interview that you've taken into your work as a artist?
Anything I learned in the interview that I've taken into my work as an artist? Yeah, a lot of it, man. I don't know. Like or a lot of times it'd be like confirmation, right? Like I was taught, so you got to do what's best for you as an artist, right? There's no one way to create art. And the perception of it is like, I'm not a night person. Like I go to sleep mad early. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you know, all my favorite artists would be, oh my God, I was in the studio till 4 or 5 a.m. and da-da-da. I'm more of a morning person. And so like, I remember interviewing Pusha T and he was like, nah, man, I wake up, I go to the studio, I'm in the studio 9 o'clock. I'm out by 4 or 5 and I go on with my day. Like shit like that was like confirmation. I was like, oh,
Right.
you duh, like you create whenever is the opportune time for you. I don't have to be in the fucking studio at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
just to keep up with these other rappers. Like it'll be like shit like that I'll learn. A lot of shit that I knew and it'll be like confirmation. I'm sure I've learned other stuff in interviews because I'm kind of like a sponge, but that's like the one thing that comes to mind. Oh man, they threw the grandpa emoji up because I said I stuck to sleep early. But yeah, but my interviews, I'm always soaking up information in terms of that might help me in the studio or something, or if I just hear like something that somebody did or a story or an anecdote or something like that.
Salam Remy's in the building.
Oh, the legend.
The legend.
The legend Salam Remy.
Shout out to Salam with all his work that he's done. Incredible.
Yeah, man. Such a good brother, man. Talented too.
Incredibly talented. Now, there was a question they wanted to know: have you picked up any new hobbies during this quarantine and period?
Have I picked up new hobbies during the quarantine? Yeah. I've been trying to work out more. I figured when I come out of this, I'm not just gonna come out of it. I did something with Smoke Dizzy the other day, and they a live like this, and they made a flyer. His artist made a flyer for me, and I had 3 chins. They threw me with 3 chins on this fucking flyer. They drew me,
Damn.
and I said, "Dad, do I look like that?" So during this quarantine, whenever we get back to normal, nah, you're gonna see a whole. It's gonna be skinny Rob for real. Yeah, I just been trying to eat better and trying to like just develop healthier habits. I've been like refraining from drinking. I haven't been drinking a lot during this quarantine. I think the only night that I drank was the Babyface Teddy Riley thing. I said, "Oh,
Oh yeah, you did
pour
say
me
that.
something."
That was such an occasion where you had to.
Yeah, but yeah. I've been trying to get healthier. That's been my thing, and I've been writing a lot of scripts and stuff like that. I wrote a comic book
Ooh,
story for Marvel that published in February. It was a Silver Surfer story that came out that Marvel published, and that was dope. Marvel's one of my favorite brands,
right.
And so I would like to continue, writing and doing comic book scripts. So, in my free time too, during the quarantine, I've been working on like a couple of different comic book scripts, and I want to start on a movie script too. I have an idea for a movie that I think will be super ill, and I just got to put the pen to the paper.
Nice. That's incredible. That's incredible. And I'm sure everybody's going to be looking forward to that. Man, I'm going to be looking forward to that because you're constantly working and, everything that you put out there is always dopeness.
Thank you. I hope people think like that. I don't know if everything that I put out is dope, but that's definitely the goal. You know what I'm saying? Is to make everything that you do just the best that you can do. Shout out to Allie. Allie said I don't have all those chins. She works over at Genius, man. She's amazing.
Yeah,
So you don't got the 3 chins. You just got the 2.
well,
Nah.
Rob, thanks so much for joining us tonight and, just chatting with us about, your journey in the industry and, dropping some gems on the people because a lot of people, during these times really should take their crafts a lot serious. And, you're a big inspiration to a lot of different people who are, already in the business or trying to come up in the business.
Thank you, man. I don't take that lightly. I think the biggest thing for me, again, I said, I don't know when I'm done, especially when it comes to the music. I can't tell you how many streams. I can't tell you if I ever get a platinum plaque or gold plaque, and all that stuff will be dope. And I want that stuff, right?
Right.
But to inspire people is really the biggest goal, man. If I can't get that gold or platinum plaque, but a new generation of artists come out or get their Grammys or get their awards or get their flowers and be like, damn, man, I was inspired because I seen Rob do that shit, I'm good. Like, so that's the goal. And I appreciate you for taking this time, man, because I know what it's like because you're an artist as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you wear 2 hats in this business. And I know what that's like to take time. You take time to shed light on me and what I'm doing. And
Right.
you have your own aspirations. So, I just want to acknowledge that and the fact that it's your birthday, and you took time out your birthday to share with your followers my story.
Yeah.
Means a lot, man. It's super generous with your time, man. And so thank you for that.
Yeah. Anytime. I appreciate that. Listen, if I was going to do this, I had to start with a bang. And, especially somebody who is juggling. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm juggling in this business because it doesn't make sense to, connect with those who don't understand. But you've been in this business for a while. So it only makes sense to, highlight what makes sense.
I appreciate it, man. I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Humble's a word that I don't like to use, because if you look up humble in the dictionary, it means something way different than what we
Completely
think it
different. Yep.
means. So that's a song. That's a word I eliminated from my vocabulary. But I will say that I'm grateful. You know what I'm saying? For it, extremely grateful. So thank you, man.
Anytime, Rob. Appreciate it. So let everybody know where they can download like the latest tracks, just in case they don't know where. I mean, they should know, but they need to know.
Anyway, y'all stream music, like the major ones, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal. It's my name, Rob Markman. There's no mask, there's no alias or AKA Rob Markman on any of the major streaming platforms. But you know, if you don't subscribe to any of the streaming platforms, like we are in fucked up economic times right now,
right?
You can find it on AudioMac, you can find it on SoundCloud, on YouTube, just any way you listen to music. You can look up my name and the music should come right up.
Exactly. Last question. You said AudioMac. How beneficial is it for artists to use platforms like AudioMac and SoundCloud? Because I be telling artists all the time, you need to have your music on there so that it's accessible to more than just one certain demographic.
Super important, man. I want my music to be everywhere. Look, if you think about it, because you don't really get paid from AudioMac, you don't get paid from SoundCloud, right? There's a paid tier, but these are free services. Guess what? You don't get paid from fucking Spotify either. Yep. Each play is a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a cent. It doesn't matter. I just want people to hear the music. And, you know, not everybody has access to a credit card. Not everybody has disposable income to spend $10 a month for Spotify. So, you know, put it on AudioMac, man. You'll grow your base. Actually, and if I'm being real, I don't get any love from Spotify on the editorial staff. I don't get, Apple ain't showing me no love. Tidal ain't showing me no fucking love. AudioMac shows a lot of love. I don't pitch them nothing. I end up on playlists. They're tweeting about my shit. I'm riding with AudioMac, man. AudioMac is the best streaming service until fucking further notice, man. You know what I'm saying? But
it's true.
Yeah, you just want to put your music everywhere. Put your music wherever people can hear it. That's the most important thing. I know some people was like, oh, I don't want to give it away for free. You can't think about it like that, man. You growing your base, man. I'll play my music in a boombox, like outside in the street, if it meant people will hear it.
Mm-hmm. And that's where it has to be. You just gotta give the music. Stop focusing on, oh, it's gonna be for free. Either way, somebody's gonna rip your music for free. They really want it, or they just gonna say, "Fuck it, let me just buy it."
Steal my shit, rip my shit for free, and then play it for your friends. Hell yeah, do all of that, man. Again, you're not really getting paid until you get to a certain level. The Spotify streaming, it don't kick in. It don't really amount to much anyway. You know what I'm saying? And all the different streamers. So you're not giving it away. You're growing your fan base. So you gotta look at it like that.
Absolutely.
They said Spotify is banned in the Sudan. I didn't know that, man. Shout out to the Sudan.
Oh, wow.
You know, I know it's crazy out there now, and I appreciate y'all tuning in.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Rob, thanks so much again for checking in with me today. Definitely appreciate it, and we'll have to do this again.
Hit me up, man. Anytime, man. I'm here. I ain't going nowhere.
Right. We in the house. Inside.
Where we got to go, all right?
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Happy birthday, brother.
Right. Appreciate it.
Peace.